Hopefully you've watched the other video about the introduction to conic sections. It shows the four different kinds that we'll talk about: parabolas, circles, ellipses, and hyperbolas. And it's all got to do with how a cone is cut by a plane. Today we're going to talk about parabolas. Now we all know what a parabola is. We've seen them before. They're a thing that's shaped like that, right? And we know they have an equation and all of that. We're going to look at parabolas a little bit different light. We're going to look at the parts of it first. And so this point right here is called the vertex of the parabola. There's a line that runs through the vertex, down through the middle of it like that, and that line is called the axis of symmetry. Or I abbreviated the AOS. I'm just too lazy to write it all out. Okay? Now, there's also a point up here that's called the focus point. So let's say it was that point right there. That's called the focus point. We label it as F. And then there's a line down here that's perpendicular to this axis of symmetry. And this line right here is called the directrix. Directrix. Okay? And what the relationship between those are is that if you were to pick a point on the, and I didn't draw this very well, but the idea is if I were to pick any point on this parabola, the distance to the focus point is equal to the distance. These two things are equal to each other. So you can see I didn't draw it to scale, but it's just the idea is that how far this is away, that's how far it is away from the directrix. And so we can look at, no matter where the point is, if we drew it to there, this distance would be equal to this distance, and so on and so forth. And those are the parts of the parabola that we talk about. And then there's actually a chord that runs across here from one perpendicular to that axis of symmetry. And this chord right here is called, it has a really funny name, it's called the latus rectum. Everybody always gets a really good laugh out of that. Okay, that's what this chord across here is called. So those are the parts of the parabola, and as we go along we'll be finding those and sketching graphs of them. We're going to look at two different kinds. The first kind is one that opens up or down. Anything, the parabola is general equation of a parabola with a vertex at 0, 0 is this right here, y equals ax squared. If a is greater than 0, the parabola opens up like that. If a is less than 0, the parabola opens down. So for instance, if I had that y equals minus 3x squared, I know that this parabola opens up. Okay, excuse me, because that's negative, what I was thinking, opens down. Okay, if we have and this is a parabola that opens up or down. Now we could have parabolas that open to the left and to the right as well. And what those are, those equations are x equals a y squared. And again, if a is greater than 0, the parabola opens to the right. If a is less than 0, the parabola opens to the left. And so if it was x equals 5y squared, I know because this is positive, because it's x equals, it opens in the x direction. Y equals, it opens in the y direction. So I know that this opens to the right. That's really what your assignment's going to be today. Next week we'll look at more in depth of how you find the different parts given an equation. But that's really what your assignment is today.